Yes, and welcome to Arts and Crafts here on the Southern Cross Combat YouTube channel. I'm trying out something a little bit different. I'm here with the great Dropbear, Danielle Curtis. Danielle, I really appreciate you joining me today. We're doing a little bit of arts and crafts today.
Something a little bit different.
Yes.
Well, Joel is staying at my house.
Yes, thank you for. I'm hosting this thing, but this is mainly you. This is your house, your table, your paint.
Yeah, and it's something that is that people do. So I guess we'll show you the little figurines.
Yes.
The little drop bears.
Cute little drop bear figurines that are blank, and we've got some paints and some textures and
so obviously drop bear being my fight name. Plenty of drop bears around my house, but I get people to paint them, put their own personality on them, and then I put them around my house. So it's a way to have a whole bunch of my friends' little input around my house.
Yes, and I thought I'd like her to do one, and it will go on the back of the Southern Cross Combat set. And I thought it was also an opportunity to do some different type of stuff on the channel. We just filmed a podcast for your podcast, The Downpour. I featured on that, and I thought I've got some things I want to talk to you about. So let's do some painting, and let's let our artistic sides fly.
I'm worried.
Yes, as am I. Now, I'll let you pick the first color.
Oh, well, I mean, I'm going to start just putting paints on here.
Yes.
There's always some use for white. So I'm going to start getting some of the frequently used ones, if I can, out onto the board. There we go. Because I feel like I'm definitely going to use that while mixing stuff. Do you want?
Yes, I'm going to grab some white as well. Were you a big arts and crafts kid growing up?
Look, I wasn't bad at art, but I didn't like doing art, the subject, because I like to do it when I feel like doing it, when the, moment strikes. I don't like being told what style of art form and whatever I have to do. So I guess one of those little known facts, I do calligraphy. Really quite enjoy that, but
that's writing.
That is writing, but it is an art form in itself. Yeah. So with ink and like I did do a friend's like wedding place cards and invitations and stuff. Like I've done that. But yeah, I mean, I did all right at school in terms of art when I did it in year 7 and 8, but I never picked to do it beyond that because just didn't.
Why calligraphy?
I don't know. When I was little, I saw it and I thought, that's cool. Wonder if I can do that. Turns out if you try hard enough, you can.
Dude, I had dog shit handwriting as a kid. Did you ever get your pen license?
Yes.
Yeah, I never got my pen license.
Okay. Yeah.
My writing was always too bad. We got 2 year levels of pen license. We got year 5 and year 6, and I didn't get it in year 5. And then I was one of, I think, 2 people to not get it in year 6. I never got my pen license. So to this day, I have to write in grey lead.
Interesting.
That's the unfortunate thing about it.
Okay. I'm just gonna go straight in here. I don't have a plan as such, but we're just gonna start popping some colors on.
Please. Now, this is sure something you've been asked a million billion times, but maybe I've asked it to you before, but I don't care. I'm gonna ask again. Why Dropbear?
Yep, definitely a common question. Now, there's a bit of a story. So, I used to, like, obviously before fighting, I was just a big fan of the sport. And so all the biggest media and stuff used to break on Twitter because, America. So I had Twitter for the purpose of MMA, and I used to hop on there whenever a pay-per-view was on or a big card, and I'd sort of just come to make friends with a group of people online that also we used to have a group, and we'd sit there and we'd all tweet each other about each sort of pay-per-view. And everyone was from different places around the world. There was some Americans, there's some people from the UK, Canada, and then a bunch of different countries. And so I remember I don't know, something come up and we were talking about how, scary Australia is and everything trying to kill you between the sharks and the crocs and the snakes and the spiders. And I was like, yeah, well, if you think that's scary, you've got to watch out. Watch out for drop bears. And obviously, I only because this is an Australian podcast will I give you the real answer. So obviously I told them all about drop bears and sent them all the very official pages about drop bears, and they were terrified about drop bears for quite some time. And then obviously eventually I let them in on, I guess, the Aussie side of it, the more information about the legend of drop bears. And then they were like, oh my God, that is amazing. Why have we never heard of this? And, why isn't there any like sporting teams called the Drop Bears? Why aren't there like the Darwin Drop Bears? And then it kind of morphed into, well, why aren't there any fighters named Drop Bear? And I actually hadn't yet fought, or maybe I'd had like one or no, I hadn't yet fought. I was training, but I hadn't yet fought. And they were like, oh my God, someone should be a drop bear. And then they were like, oh my God, it's you. You have to, that's you. So I didn't really, I didn't pick it myself. It just was kind of given to me. And then they were like, it's just so perfect. It is so you. And obviously my name being Danielle, it just goes. So it just happened. It was just given to me, but then it's like fully been embodied in everything that I do. And I just am drop bear now. Like even in the gym, a lot of people just refer to me as drop bear. Promoters, friends, people just refer to me as drop bear. So, I mean, I am drop bear.
And why was it fighting for you?
Like, why did I decide to fight?
Yeah, like there's all different. We've talked about this a little bit like while I've been around. But like you did a lot of sports growing up. You were very like in the athletics days. You were, I'll do this. You were putting your hand up for like a lot of stuff.
Yeah. So don't get confused. I wasn't athletic. I was terrible at sports, but I was from a tiny little town. And how do you get a day off school? It's an hour and a half to the next town to play a sport against other people. So, I mean, doing sport out in Hay is a great way to, have fun and see other schools and, and I just liked the team aspect and, trying really hard at something. So I did a lot of sports. I put my hand up for a lot of sports. There was a lot that I didn't even get on the team for or, I never did well at, but I tried really hard. I think that's why I like the atmosphere of sport and competition. Like I love competition. I definitely have that competitive spirit. I didn't know that combat sports really existed. Like I guess I kind of knew that boxing was a thing, but that was about it. So yeah, it wasn't until I moved away, went to university and I guess seen MMA for the first time. And I kind of instantly fell in love with just the concept of MMA. Like human chess, these people were incredibly athletic, but also smart is not the word, but like still like somewhat intelligent to make decisions in like with massive consequences in that moment and because you are trying to like outsmart or outmaneuver your opponent. It is human chess in that sense. So you couldn't just be one type of athletic. Like most sports have a particular body type or certain attributes that make them do particularly well in that sport. Well, this sport didn't have any of that. There was no, this is the ultimate person. There was no, like, everyone didn't train the same way or even fight the same way, or even when you see the same people fight more than once, it's different every time. And I really think I enjoyed that element of it. Is it's very individual, as in there's no predetermined variables for success. It comes down to how hard you are going to work and making the attributes that you have work for you. You know, utilizing your strengths, hiding your weaknesses, and outsmarting people into how to fight in that particular fight to win. So, yeah, I just became a huge fan, and then it wasn't until like a number of years later that I actually started training, because being that I was not naturally athletic, I never thought I would do anything that involved sport.
Do you remember what the first combat sports thing you saw, whether it be, you mentioned you kind of knew what boxing. Do you remember what your first MMA fight was like that you saw?
It was definitely the UFC, but the bit where it gets blurry as to which one it was the moment I sort of saw it, and it was like my boyfriend at uni was into it. I also just like immediately watched everything. Like whatever was the first thing, it was like I watched the entire card and then went, okay, let's watch all the seasons of The Ultimate Fighter and go back and watch the beginnings, and like, so it's kind of a bit of a blur. I definitely come in around the time like the Chuck Liddell Tito era is where I probably started watching, but obviously went immediately back to watching what sort of come before that.
Yeah, going back and watching like the first one.
Yeah, and going back and sort of seeing the sport, I guess, progress and stuff. And yeah.
I'm not going to pretend like I know the like history of women's MMA, but you like, if that's your entry to the sport, women won't be in the UFC for a very long time after that. If you're coming in during Chuck and Tito,
Yes.
like you've got many a year.
Yeah.
When did it become a thing for you of like,
oh, you could do that?
yeah, like, or maybe this is like a feasible thing for me?
When I started fighting. But even then, I didn't have any goals or aspirations. Like, I was legitimately just a fan. I was just a fan. Even when the women came into the sport, I was like, this is great. This is amazing. But again, I was just a fan. And even when I started training, I was just a fan. Like, it just so happened that like a Muay Thai gym opened up right next to, and this is when I sort of was like working and stuff after being at uni. Like, even after being a fan, I was a fan for years before I started training. And yeah, Muay Thai gym opened up right near where I was working, and I was like, you know what, let's give it a crack. I'm working, so I actually have some money. I'm not like a broke-ass uni student, but again, I just wanted to experience it and train. And then as soon as I started training, I was like, yeah, I'm going to want to have a fight. And then as soon as I had a fight, I was like, yeah, I'm going to just have to see how far I could go with this. Still fully well thinking that I didn't ever think I'd be competitive or try and go pro or anything. Like, that was never the original intention. Like, it's not like kids now that see the sport and are like, that's what I'm going to do. Like, that's not how it was for me. Because I also still, even in my mind today, for someone to call me an athlete is very strange to me. It's very foreign. It's very weird. Like, I still consider myself that girl in high school that didn't get picked for things because I wasn't good. I'm not athletic. So yeah, that's still kind of strange.
So at this point, when a Muay Thai gym opens at your work, because you grew up in Hay, which is in
middle of nowhere,
rural New South Wales.
Yes.
Are you living in Canberra at this time? Like,
yes.
Where are you?
Yeah, so I didn't know the sport existed until I moved away to university, which was in Canberra. And then, yeah, super fan. And then, yes, still living in Canberra, started working. Yeah, so I first walked into a gym when I was 25, nearly 26. So very late start, especially for this sport. So to do all the things I've done already in such a short time, realistically compared to a lot of other people, is pretty crazy. Like, again, too, like everything that I have achieved is more than I ever anticipated initially. Like I never had that dream or goal of being an athlete, let alone a fighter, let alone anything. Like those dreams and goals I've kind of unlocked while doing it because like I guess I didn't have belief in myself at all. And that is interestingly enough, like I think going to the Gamma World Championships was something that was very life-changing and developmental wise for me because it was self-funded, and so I did like a GoFundMe to help sort of like cover some of the costs of going over there. And that was something crazy to me because, you know, as an amateur doing a sport that not many people follow and asking for money in Australia, which is not a common trait of our sort of like personality. Like, yeah, we'll have you come over for a barbecue or offer you a place to stay, but certainly not give money. And then a whole bunch of people donated. And I was like, I don't understand. Like these people believe in me. So I guess why wouldn't maybe I should believe in myself. But yeah, so I started a Muay Thai gym, but I wasn't there for very long because I realized that Muay Thai was not what I was passionate about. It's interestingly enough, though, I follow a lot of Muay Thai these days. I quite enjoy Muay Thai as well, and there's definitely Muay Thai influences in my striking, but that's not because I spent a long time doing Muay Thai. I was literally only there for a couple of months and realized this is not sort of what I'm passionate about, and it was like the coach at that gym was great. He is great. And he sort of helped me, I guess, kind of find like the people in the sport, even cross combat sports are very helpful. And they kind of helped me, I guess, kind of find, you know, what I was passionate about and, you know, find somewhere to move on to be able to do what I was passionate about. So yeah, didn't spend much time there, but it was that thing that happened that's kind of led me to stepping my foot in, like putting my toe in the water. And then it kind of just steamrolled from there.
When so we were at the PFL launch yesterday, and it was something we kind of talked about in the Downpour episode. About when I talk to people, I try to like fighting is the reason we kind of interact with each other, but people are more than just fighters. You know, people do other things. And I don't know what it is about you, but I think, especially in the regional scene, to me, you kind of epitomize that. And I think it's because you put so much effort into the social media stuff.
Well, I think, and this is something we do cover in the Downpour, the Dropbear Downpour podcast episode. Don't know which one of these is going to come out first. So,
yeah,
you know,
exactly. One of them will be out first.
Is that what I find interesting about people and fighters is like I want to know them, a bit about them as a person, but also like to remember that people are like fighters are human. And so I think sometimes people forget that because they just see them as these stoic people and fighters on the TV, and you know, because you do have to kind of take away some of that emotional part of you when you're getting ready to fight someone, or you do have to kind of hide it, or you know, you don't want to let some of those things shine through when you're trying to get ready to fight someone. But people forget, or people don't realize that you are human, and I think what's human and imperfect is what makes us who we are, but it's also interesting, way more interesting than the stock standard. But I feel like too, obviously still, well, at least within Australia, like MMA is gaining popularity, but it is still not fully mainstream. And I think part of that is that there's still a bit of negative, like there's misinformation out there, but also negative, you know, perceptions about the sport. And I think the easiest way to break down that negative perception is to humanize the people again, and for you to remember, I am not someone that goes out, starts fights in the street and likes and enjoys hurting people. I'm not a masochist. What I am is an athlete competing in a sport where I train every day and I grind and I deserve the same kind of respect as Olympic athletes, in whether they're throwing a javelin, whether they're swimming in the pool, whether they're playing tennis, and you recognize that they spend every day and they sacrifice and they do this, that, and whatever. But I am doing something competitive against someone and I want to be the best and whatever. But also I'm human. Like, I make mistakes, I have downfalls, I struggle, I do all of those same things. And yeah, I think that the easiest way to have people connect with fighters is to see the human side.
And I wanted to bring it up. We talk about it a little bit in the downpour. We talk about like kind of my perspective on it. But which is totally fine. That there's people out there who all they are is a fighter. And that's like completely fine. But as I said, you're someone who I really associate like many titles with. You know, you're doing like the streaming on Twitch. You do even the things around the fight world that you do, meaning commentating, matchmaking, those things, they're still in the fight world, but they're at least another kind of feather in the cap. But there's like the streaming on Twitch. There's the podcast. Then there's arts and crafts. Like there's the social content, right?
Yeah.
So in my head, and this is just completely my perspective, you're a lady of many talents. And so like a lot of titles kind of suit you. I was wondering if there's ever, like, do you ever feel like when you maybe meet another fighter who's a peer of yours, but they're not doing that? Like I'm really trying to find a way to word this, but like, do you ever feel almost like do you think anyone ever looks at you who's just a fighter? That's what they do. And they look at you and they're like, this chick's a bit weird. She's like doing other stuff. Why are you doing all this other stuff? You know, like, do you know what I'm going at?
Possibly, yeah. But it's interesting though, because like we talked about in the other podcast about enjoying the process. And also like I've been there where earlier in my career when I'm building, and obviously you have to sacrifice and you have to be all in. But I think that there's a big difference between all in and all or nothing. And the mindset that comes with that and everything else that comes with that. Because there was a period of time where literally all I ever did when I started, because I'm not athletic and it takes me a long time to learn something and I have to obsess and I have to do it hundreds of thousands of times, where someone will naturally be able to do it after 3 tries. You know, like I'm talking really simple stuff. Like I reckon it took me a year to check a kick, you know, because it's not naturally, like I'm not naturally inclined to do it. So I work incredibly hard. But like I did have that period of time and I did have that thought process of I am a fighter. Like this is what I'm doing. But I also feel like that can be great and it can be very self-destructive if you tie your entire being to something, one title, because you have any kind of setback, an injury, you know, a life change, something, anything that happens where you can't do the thing that supposedly you are, not that makes you who, like you're saying I am a fighter. So if I can't fight, what am I? I am nothing. That's not true. You are a human. And yeah, I did put all of my hobbies, talents, other things aside. But I think what I am is not amazingly good at any one thing. And this is the same as my fighting. I always say that what makes me dangerous and what makes me a good fighter is that I'm not exceptionally skilled at any one thing. I am a jack of all trades. And that's what I am in life, is like if there is something that I'm like, that's cool, I wonder if I can do it. When I try to see if I can do it, I don't do it half-assed. I will give everything to see if it is possible. And so that, again, someone will try something for the first time and not get it and go, I'm clearly not cut out for this. Maybe attempt it a second time. I'll do it 100 times before I even go, okay, so can I actually do this or not? You know, and, you know, I'm willing to fail and do something over and over and over again. And yeah, I may only get mediocre at it or be like, yeah, cool, calligraphy's cool, but that's not what I want to do with the rest of my life. So It's just a cool thing that I've got in my arsenal. You know, I'm not doing anything with that. It doesn't necessarily set my soul on fire, but like I was like, can I do that? I'm going to dedicate over the course of, a few years growing up, there's probably hundreds of hours in that. Yeah. So I think it's that mindset for me. Yes. People probably do think I'm weird or think like, how do you do all of those things and stuff like that? And like I fit a lot of things in a day. I probably don't sleep enough, but it's also the things that make me happy because again, I've talked about like I want to give back to the sport. I want to, make it better for the next generation. I want to break down those barriers of misinformation or, people thinking that the sport is barbaric. I want to do all of those things while fighting and set myself up and things that I like. Like I was a fan before I was a fighter. I don't forget that. So I'm still a fan. Like I still enjoy like the media side of it. I enjoy commentating. I enjoy officiating. I enjoy being active in the sport even when I'm not fighting, which I think is what kind of keeps me relevant too. Like people know who I am from my fighting or from all the other bits and pieces, from I've commentated their fights or a friend's fight or I've, whatever. I do understand, yes, people probably do think I'm weird or like, why are you bothering doing all of those things? But I think I also got potentially some opportunities and some other eyes from doing all the other bits and pieces. And this day and age, you need to be marketable. And like I said, I also think that I can be an interesting person. So like to me, if you can show that human side through doing all of these other things, you can be personable, you can connect with people, then they will want to follow you or keep up with you. But they may also just want to try out the sport and get more people into it. They may want to follow the sport now or see that it's not barbaric. And I'm like, if I can do that for someone or even just encourage someone to try the sport if they were worried about it or like anything, that's a win. So yeah, I don't really care what other people think, but
I meant weird, like lovingly, by the way, just to clarify. I wasn't calling you weird, especially when you're hosting me so graciously.
Get out. No.
I know, right? Actually.
Ew, she's weird.
Did you ever watch, are you familiar with The Joy of Painting with Bob Ross?
Yes.
It feels a little bit like this.
It does. It does.
Paint a happy little drop bear.
And then add some blood.
Yeah, exactly.
I have no idea where I'm going with this. I've made a cool like color.
It's a very cool color combo. I'm using a lot of dark. I've got a vision, but it's a lot of grays and blacks at the moment with a little bit of red.
Oh yeah.
But
yeah.
there's a method to the madness, I promise, eventually.
I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm just going colors that seem nice.
Do you have any pet peeves?
Yes. One of them is like as a commentator, I ensure that I don't do as a commentator because as a fighter it pisses me off.
What is it?
If you are commentating someone's fight, please be respectful of the fact that they have sacrificed so much to be there in that moment. Either talk about the fighter or call the action. I don't care. Like, I'm not here to listen to you as a commentator. I'm here to have you explain what is happening or call the action or be the addition to what is happening. Like, so the main thing is, I don't care what you had for lunch yesterday. I don't care about a random tangent that you're going to go speak about you personally or about, I don't mind a tangent about something to do with the fighter. I'm not saying John Anik saying, he's fighting for the custody of his kid.
Neither of these men have seen their children in many months.
Yeah, but like a tangent about, where they've fought previously or like even something personal about them, because I still think that's important. That's what I'm saying, breaking down those barriers. But about the fighter, I'm here for the fight and the fighters, and it's their moment and they're the ones that have sacrificed. And like before the show starts, if you want to talk about yourself, that's fine. But like, you are here to highlight the fighters. Please don't talk about what you had for dinner. Please don't talk about what you did on the weekend. If you're not sure what to talk about the fight card or just call the action. Tell the viewer what is happening. I just like, there's nothing worse than watching a fight and you are literally putting your heart and soul and your life on the line. You're going to war and there's a big thing happening and there's action. People are cracking each other in the skulls and someone's just like casually talking about, oh, yeah, and the other day this person said something to me or whatever. Or, I had the best bacon egg roll the other day. It's like, bruh, there is a fight happening. That pet peeve.
Is there any, is that the pettest of all peeves? Is that how
I
I
think
would measure
so.
that? Is that your biggest pet peeve?
I'm a pretty easygoing person. So,
Yeah.
there's not many things that annoy me enough to be like, this is be very sort of situational, I guess. Like, sure, there's things that are not ideal, like obviously listening to people chew food or be obnoxiously loud during something important or like, I don't know, whatever the normal pet peeves are. But I don't know. I don't really hold grudges or anything.
You don't have that much hate in your heart?
No.
Wow.
I don't think so.
Aren't you a saint?
No, I just can't think of any. Like, there's nothing that annoys me that much, like off the top of my head, that I can be like, yeah, I hate it when anyone does this thing.
That's fair. You know what I irrationally fucking hate?
Yeah.
It disgusts me.
Tell me.
I hate it so much. I'm so glad that these don't. Anytime there's like a cute little chibi little animal or like a chibi little toy, like you got a little stuffed animal of an animal, when they give it a butthole, I hate that. That's horrific. I hate that. That disgusts me.
so funny.
When they do a little X on its ass, gross. Don't tell me this thing has a dietary tract. That's fucking revolting.
Can I just say quickly, I've never checked the bottom of a toy to know whether they have a butthole or
Bro,
not.
it happens all the time in like animated shows or when they make toys of things.
Joel, I think you're telling us that you're looking at things
No,
at
brother,
buttholes.
it looks at me. Dude, it looks at me. I don't look at it, it looks at me. As
a
someone,
likely story.
I go to a lot of like what I would refer to as nerd conventions. You know, I'm at the Supernovas, I'm at the Comic Cons, I'm at the PAX. Doesn't happen as much as PAX, but when you're at those more like anime and cartoon based things, dude, there be cartoon buttholes on animals everywhere, and I hate it. It's revolting.
What? Like, why? Why is it?
I don't
why
want
is
it.
it
It's
a
like
thing?
a cute
no,
little animal.
No, not you. Like,
why
why
are they doing
is it a
Because
thing?
they're fucked in the head, as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
I
Like,
don't
there's
know.
no real reason. Like, nothing else about it is it necessarily anatomically correct. So, why?
They just do like a little X, and I'm like, this is horrific.
You're like, yeah, this
I
is
hate
so
it
weird.
here.
Why?
And I promise you, it's real. I can't think of any examples right now, but I promise you, it's real.
I believe you.
I'm gonna sound like a crazy person, but I promise you, I'm not crazy. The world's crazy. That's what I.
You know what's going to happen?
What? No one.
The Mandela effect,
Yeah,
where
they're
you
not
go
gonna
back and
exist anywhere.
they're just not going to exist anymore.
There's not going to be one anywhere, and I'm going to be like, I promise you, it was real.
It's real, I swear.
It was real, bro. It was real. We talk about the stuff you do outside of the cage.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, we talked a lot about like the fight related stuff. What is like I just brought that up, and that's, you know, something from kind of like the cartoony world. What is your like are you like a cartoons person, a TV show person, an anime person? Like, what are you?
What do I watch?
Yeah, like all that like video games is something I know, but like, what is your like? I'm gonna not think about fighting for a little bit. What is that for you?
What's that?
Yeah, actually, tell me.
Yeah, so like obviously I do play video games. I'm definitely an FPS girl. It's a first person shooter. Anything first person shooter I will enjoy. I'm definitely a TV show person because I don't get enough time to dedicate to watching certain things. So I like having a short amount of time, like where I guess because of the way that TV shows are structured, it's more fast paced, as in like more things happen over that short period of time. But also a lot of the times, even then, I kind of just have it on in the background while I'm eating and stuff. So, you know.
A big dinner and YouTube enjoyer.
Yeah, YouTube, Netflix, like whatever it is,
Got
just
to eat with some stimuli. What do you mean I can't be stimulated while I'm eating? That sounds impossible.
terrible. Yes,
Yeah, I don't know how someone would survive.
me either.
Yeah, I can't do it, bro. You're telling me I have to dinner with no YouTube? I would die on the spot.
Yeah, so TV shows is kind of more the way to go. Yeah, and then it kind of just depends whether it is just after like during dinner or whether I actually have time to concentrate. So a lot of the times it's either trash or like, well, obviously you already know, and I think everybody knows, and the shirt is probably giving it away, but obviously I'm also a wrestling fan.
The graps.
So definitely that is quite a lot of, I guess, content to be watching a week anyway, because there's 2 shows a week. On top of that, there's PLEs and stuff as well. And while I might sort of keep a little bit of an eye more on social media of what's happening on NXT, I don't really actually get time to sit down and watch NXT because there's only so many hours in a day. But usually it's after training, TV show is on while eating dinner / either editing content, doing commentary notes, having meetings. I sometimes, like quite often for Enduro, having meetings at 10 o'clock at night, which is super great for my sleep schedule. But it's the only time that we're all free. That kind of stuff, matchmaking and speaking to gyms and stuff. But they're all on like the same kind of time schedule, so it's not too bad. As in like they will just get back to me when they can, or they're online the same sort of time after you finish training late at night. So, and then I work a full-time job as well. So just is a lot.
What does an enduro fight night look like for you? Not including the one you fought on.
One, I fought on 3 out of their first 4.
I was thinking about the pro. I was thinking
yes.
about the pro debut. That's what I was thinking of when I
Yeah.
said one. But what did the last enduro? What does that night look like for you?
Oh, I don't move from the commentary booth pretty much. So earlier in the night, so I guess like leading up to enduro, I'm doing a whole bunch of stuff with matchmaking and speaking to a bunch of people. Then, you're also not only matching people and going back and forth, facilitating those conversations, but then you're following up with people about their rego, about, everything to do with their rego, the cornerman's rego, have we got the photos for the fight poster? Have we released them? Like, is there any other information we need? All of that kind of stuff. So there's a lot. Obviously helping with their social media and stuff as well. So there's a lot going on. But then commentary information. So getting that from everyone and putting that together. Because for me, again, when I commentate, it's not about me. It's about the fighters. So I like to give them their moment, and I love being able to showcase their personality. So anything that they put in their commentary information, like I will say.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is really funny because sometimes they're really funny. And I'm very grateful actually to be in the spot that I am where, oh no, Joel.
It's all right. It was all part of it.
It's all part of it. It's all part of it.
It's all part of it.
It's a little tux.
No, it's not meant to be.
Oh, okay. Well, it looks like a little tux.
I'll try to add some more stuff to make it look like what it's meant to look like.
Okay.
He could be a dapper gentleman.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just to say I'm really grateful because, I don't know if it's a respect level or whatever, but because I am a fighter and, on enduro, it's a lot of amateurs predominantly and, a few pros. So a lot of these guys have seen me fight on that show or, I've been matchmaking with them or, commentated their fights before or their teammates' fights before. I'm their contact, but then also, maybe they've watched me fight as an amateur and a pro or whatever. And I know people, like I pretty much know everyone in one way or the other. So yeah, I'm starting to really have across the different shows that I commentate, but especially enduro moments with the fighters and the teams. So so like I make the trip down there with Jared, my partner. He commentates with me. obviously we get everything ready as well. We're there for weigh-ins, making sure that everyone has, obviously weighed in correctly and all of that kind of stuff. But I'll be shooting footage behind the scenes and stuff at weigh-ins. Then I actually was the one running the rules meeting at weigh-ins. And then fight day, we get there, I'll get there a little bit early because I was setting up some video gear and stuff for interviews, which one of my colleagues was doing, but my gear and stuff. But yeah, and I'll get some behind the scenes before the show actually starts, content and that kind of thing. And I go around, I talk to all the teams and that kind of stuff. But then from when the show starts, I'm sitting in the commentary booth. So I am reading commentary notes, obviously speaking the whole time. We mute our mics and have a roadcaster or something sort of sitting there. So we are making sure that, our mics are on and off depending when we're speaking, when the announcer's speaking, all of that. So controlling that. I film while I commentate as well. And then I also do live posts to stories while that's happening as well. But yeah, I'm super grateful for the connection that I have with everyone and the fact that now we're getting to that point where I'm in the commentary booth having moments with fighters, like what you see in the UFC where people are pointing or they're walking around the cage to find the commentary team to speak to them, either me directly as a person or a fighter, or to tell me to say something on the commentary, or because they put something in the commentary notes or they spoke to me at weigh-ins or before the fight, can you say this or, whatever. And then they come back over to finish that conversation with me after the fight because they're like, did you start your timer? I said I was going to do this, that stuff doesn't happen on the regional scene. So I am very grateful to be able to have that connection with the other fighters, that they're willing to do that and to have those moments. So cool.
Who has a particular, or what are some of the particularly funny
commentary?
No, I was going to say their commentary notes where they say
Yes.
stuff. Yeah. What are any ones that particularly stand out to you?
Yes. So previously there was some funny ones on some of the Muay Thai shows and stuff we've done, but literally on this most recent enduro, actually one of the guys from my gym, Mitch from Flux, he is quite funny. I don't think that people realize how funny he is. And then he had a ball with filling out his commentary information. It was his first fight. He is a purple belt. He was fighting a purple belt from a good gym. And it was so funny because his opponent walks out first and his commentary notes were very matter of fact, very as you would expect. So he's walking out, and so when they walk out, we say, this person from this gym fighting on this corner, and they'll both debut. And purple belt and then any achievements. So his opponent had said, I'm a 2-time Pan Pacs champion.
The grappling comp.
Yeah, yes. And then Mitch walks out, and conversely, he is also a purple belt. He's also, making his debut, and he's from Flux Jiu-Jitsu, et cetera, et cetera. And under achievements, he has listed down he was first in mathematics in year 10 in whatever year it was at whatever local school that he went to.
That's pretty good.
And then I'm, they're standing in the cage and whatever, and we're talking, and we were talking about their fight style because we asked them, what's your fight style and or your favorite weapons? His opponent is like, I'm gonna pressure him and relentless pressure and break him kind of thing. And Mitch's, I'm a power bottom. I like wrist locks, and I'm hoping to maybe stay on top this time. And then you're I think my favorite one of all of this commentary, there's so many things in there that were so funny, but there's a bit where we talk about either your combat sport goals and, what are you looking forward to after the fight kind of thing. So in the what are your combat sport goals? And obviously his opponent's is go as far as I can, get better each day, keep leveling up, all of those kind of things. Maybe eventually go pro or whatever it was. And then
very normal answer.
Yeah, normal answer. And then Mitch's was his was along the lines of, my goal is to win this fight and to get some respect from my grandma, because my niece, 8 years old, is a karate black belt and I'm only a purple belt in jiu-jitsu. So I need to get some respect back from my nan. And I'm like, that's gold. Like, that's amazing. On like a Muay Thai show, I had a guy who had a couple of fights. He'd had a fair bit of time off and he had put on a fair bit of weight, but he was going to have having another fight. And, he's a funny guy. And he was like, in his, like, do you have a prediction for the fight? He's like, I'm either going to knock the guy out in the first or I'm going to gas out hard. He's like, because I've got a KFC bod or something like that. But under achievements, he wrote, I'm going to win best rig of the night. And you're just like, I love that. If you and to be honest, I think initially some people thought that, I'm going to put something in there for a laugh and they're never going to say it.
Yeah.
But Jared and I are very much like, if you write it in there, we're going to say it. And like, we will get to know you and understand whether it's a joke or not. But we want to showcase you and show your personality. So if you're willing to write more than a stock standard, 2-word answer, we will showcase that. We'll showcase your personality. We'll give you that opportunity. And enduro very much is like that in general. Like, if you want to have a particular song to walk out, or you want to come out in a cowboy hat and you want to line dance your way to the cage, or you want to whatever that is, we're very much like, this is your moment. You have sacrificed within reason, as long as you're not doing something dangerous or something that we just can't facilitate happening.
Yeah.
Like, we want you to have your moment.
Yeah.
And that, I think, comes from enduro not having any specific ties or connection to a specific gym or group of fighters, and the people behind the scenes are fighters. So, we want to give everyone their moment.
Yeah.
And make you feel like a rock star, and even if it's your first fight.
Yeah.
Just take care of you. If the fighters are having a good time, then we're happy. As long as we're not going broke.
Which is always a risk.
Yes. Yeah. But it's interesting though, I didn't have that on my, obviously I have all these things on my overall bucket list, but that wasn't something that I thought I'd be doing right now while being a fighter. A lot of these things kind of fell in my lap and happened because I am doing all these extra things and I just am super passionate about it.
How does enduro approach you about being a commentator? Are they like, you like to talk?
This is true. This is
exactly.
True. Commentating, I kind of did. So, I always sort of said if anyone needed someone, but I kind of got my start actually with Storm Damage. I think was the first show I actually properly commentated, because they were down a commentator or two, but they still had a couple of their normal ones. But through that, my knowledge of the scene and the people and all of that and the teams shone through. And and when you understand the game, being able to do play-by-play and stuff becomes easy when you know what you're looking at. And I just loved it. It came naturally. And then I was like, I kind of started seeking that out. And then I just kind of built that reputation. And also I kind of have those connections and that respect with other people in promotions because I am a fighter and I know what I'm talking about, but also just I actually genuinely care. So I am going to go out and reach out to them and get information. I'm not just going to rock up and say the names and then just go, oh yeah, they look nervous, or yeah, I like their outfit. You know what I mean? I come prepared with information because I want to do a good job, because I want to do it for the promotion, but for the fighters. So I don't know. I think it just came from that.
My talking about what people what commentary reads out when someone walked in. The one that really stands out to me was a guy named Lockie Martin on Demolition. They're like, I'm not sure what the forms are like for Enduro, but for Demo, I think they asked like, how do you think you're going to win, or how do you think the fight's going to go?
Prediction sort of
yeah,
thing.
like a prediction thing. And Lockie put, knock his block into the stratosphere and send him to the shadow realm.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
This motherfucking guy.
This guy.
Yeah, I just remember hearing that on the broadcast and being like, this guy gets it. You know, like.
I love that. But see, that's the thing though. And how much more exciting is that? Like, that stuck with you because they allowed the fighter to show his personality.
Yeah, and he got to say something funny, and it's something that is, like a representation of him. You're like, that guy's probably a laugh.
Yeah. And I think that stands out. And again, it all comes down to connecting and showing that human side, showing that we're just not a bloody cyborg.
Yeah.
That just rocks up with no emotion and no feeling, with nothing to say other than must win. Like, obviously we all want to win. That's just how it goes.
Yeah, no one's showing up
we
to
don't
lose.
we don't take fights to lose.
Yeah, no one's showing up to lose. You mentioned before about you liked team sports growing up.
Yeah, because I'm hard work, and I like contributing to a team, I guess. But I also did very much get frustrated at like people who didn't try. Because I was the person that I will give everything to do whatever I can to benefit the team. Which is funny that I end up in an individual sport.
Well,
but
that's what I was going to ask.
But in saying that though, although fighting we compete individually, we actually never compete alone. It's very rare that you'll see someone rock up to a fight show without a coach, a cornerman, a teammate, a something. Like, in a lot of places, they actually wouldn't let you fight without someone in your corner for like safety reasons. So it's interesting because the other thing too is like you actually can't even learn the sport without other people. Like, how successful is anyone who has never stepped foot into a gym that's just like been training on the bag at home? Like, it's not possible.
They see red and bodies just hit the floor.
Yeah, except in an actual trained fight scenario. So like you actually can't learn the sport by yourself. So it's such a strange dynamic that it's an individual sport, but you actually can't do it by yourself. Like, it's just not possible. Like, even for someone to coach you, they'd still have to coach you by showing or doing it with you. Like, you can't learn the sport just by watching it or hearing. Like, you actually have to do it. So, yeah, it's interesting. But yes, so I did used to get annoyed, I guess, a little bit at people who weren't pulling the weight, because I'm like, well, then why are you doing it? Like, why are you a part of the team?
Why are you here, bro?
Yeah, why are you here? Yeah, but I mean, like, I like team sports because I like the bonding aspect of it. I like working hard for a purpose. Yeah.
Fans of the Dropbear will know that the last time you fought was in the Great White North.
Canada.
Of Canada.
Calgary.
The Great Calgary. Had you ever been before?
No, I had not. I wish I stayed after it, like, longer.
You came straight home afterwards?
Literally, we were out till like 3 a.m. and then we're on the bus at 8 a.m. to the airport. So
to start how many hours journey home?
Like 36 or more than that. I think all up the total travel time was way longer than that because we had a 10-hour layover in Melbourne. So we flew back Calgary to Dallas. We didn't have too long in Dallas going back. And then Dallas to Melbourne. And then, as I said, like a 10 or 11 hour layover. And then Melbourne to Newcastle. It's very, very long time flying. And like we had a much longer layover in Dallas when we went there. We still had a layover in Melbourne, but it wasn't very long on the way over. And yeah, the flight in the air between Melbourne and Dallas was so long, especially while water loading. That was a nightmare. Especially because my entire life, every plane I've ever been on, ever, I've always had the middle seat. Every single flight that has more, like that is at least a 3-row. Always. That particular flight from Melbourne to Dallas was the first time in my life I didn't have the middle seat.
Oh, thank God.
No, because I had the window seat.
Yeah, that's about
so
where
I
I
had
thought that was
to
going.
I had to interrupt 2 people to get up and go to the bathroom every 2 seconds because
Pain.
I was drinking 8 liters of water.
Pain.
Yes, and so here I am lugging these gigantic bloody 2-liter bottles of water, like multiples of them, with me everywhere. I remember
You're a crazy person.
Yeah, I remember trying to refill them in the Dallas airport, and like the particular like fountain drink station thing was like a very slow flow. So I'm there just standing there, just filling up my 2-liter water bottle, and I've got the other empty one around my hand. And then I notice someone else come up behind me, and I just like stop and move and go, "You go."
Yeah,
I'm gonna be here
bro.
I'm gonna be here for ages.
We've talked about the stuff outside of fighting, and we talked about kind of the start of the fighting. But yeah, the last time we saw you was in the Great White North. Where have you been? What's been going on from a fighting perspective? What's been going on?
Nothing has been going on for a number of reasons. Obviously, like, one, it's always difficult as a female fighter. Opportunities are few and far between. But also I have had some injuries. So that is not ideal, as you could imagine.
I could imagine.
Yes.
Sub-ideal.
Sub-ideal.
Suboptimal.
Suboptimal. Not even just. What is the actual opposite of optimal? Shit.
Definitely not
Unoptimal.
Unoptimal.
Unoptimized. Inoptical.
Yes.
Optical?
Optical illusion.
Terrible.
So how has like the look for that been going? Like the injuries, they're nursing up well. How are they?
Yeah, we're coming.
You don't have anything chopped off. You've still got all your legs and stuff, so that's good. Your legs and your arms.
Yeah, or are they bionic?
Oh, it's entirely possible.
It is possible. Yeah, well, we're coming out the other side, which is, I think, fingers crossed. Don't want to jinx myself because that has happened before where I've come out the other side and then, you get another injury. Which is all part and parcel of it. Like, it is what it is. And mentally, those things I think are harder to deal with than the physical. The physical is very difficult. The mental side of it comes and goes in waves, but it is very difficult. So yeah, I think I'm pretty much out the other side or getting close to of that. So hopefully to be able to get back to regular training and looking for fights as normal. And hopefully, hopefully we can get on a nice roll and we can, build to all those big, amazing things. Because, yeah, it's so crazy too. At the end of my amateur career, I had 8 fights in like a year and a half, just over a year and a half. Yeah. At that point in time, it was myself and Amina were like the 2 most active fighters. And I think we both kind of had the same amount of fights in the same sort of time period. But yeah, 8 fights in a year and a half, just over. And then to go, I haven't fought since March last year. And we're now in
May.
May.
Time of filming.
May. So yeah, that's strange and weird. And like, I knew I was always going to slow down a little bit when I went pro anyway, which is fine. But yes, now it's kind of like, oh my God. And it sucks because it's so easy when you stop, when you are not consistently fighting, you feel like everyone forgets who you are. So it's kind of cool having all these other avenues of like content creation or still being in and around fights and seeing what's happening. Like I'm still, my finger's not off the pulse in terms of seeing what's happening on the regional and the international stage, seeing what techniques are using, seeing how scoring is happening, seeing what is being favored right now. Like, because I'm living and breathing it every weekend, which is good. And I think that's also helped with the mental side of it. But yeah, I think that's definitely a cool thing to sort of be like, well, people still know who I am even when I'm not fighting because I've got all these other bits and pieces, which makes it an easier transition back into when I get a fight.
Yeah.
Hopefully people care.
Well, I wanted
don't
to
know.
ask about that. I wanted to ask about the mental side. You said, having all those other things going on can make it easier. You take your mind off things a little bit, or allows you to still feel, I'm still contributing. People still
Yeah.
kind of know who I am. But how have you dealt with, like, it's never easy when you're like, the body says no. The body says I have to sit out for a little bit. How have you kind of been dealing with that?
Terribly. No, that's a lie. Depends on the day. Depends whether it's the first time an injury happens or the second. Depends if it's the third, fourth, or fifth, or a different injury, or if you've like the severity of it. It depends, what you had coming up or what you're potentially missing out on. So like day to day, like focusing on getting better and progressing. So the injury itself and the rehab, and that's a battle in itself. But then maybe you're coming out the other side of that, and then like you have a little win where you're like, oh, I get to do this one part of training again for the first time since an injury. So that's like a happy day. It's a win. No matter how bad it is, I'm here, which means I'm doing something for the first time again. So the first session back doing something is like, oh my God, yay. But the second session is like low, because the second session you come back, you realize how far away you are from where you were. And that's immediately a mental low. And then it's so hard. Like, one, comparing yourself to others is hard. Comparing yourself to yourself too and feeling like you have gone backwards is worse.
Yeah.
Way worse. So yeah, I try to stay busy and put that effort and energy into other avenues, whether that is my rehab and doing that as best as I possibly can. And that's creating content or, matchmaking, commentating, putting my all into things, gaming, trying out some streaming and stuff, like trying out things that I haven't done before that I always wanted to do, to learn in another aspect. So even just trying to get better at content creation, so then it comes a little bit easier to me, or I know how to do it, or, I don't know, still upskilling somewhere.
I don't want to appear like I know you. I've only stayed at your house and met everyone who lives in your house and, broken bread and such, so I don't want to overstate things, or I don't mean to reveal too much about your life and your living. But you live with your partner who trains at the gym, and you live with a friend who also trains at the gym. And when there are those days, where you can't train, you've got an injury or whatever, it's like, is that difficult when like the two people you see the most are like, we're gonna go to jiu-jitsu, yeah. And like when your roommate or housemate came home yesterday, the first question was like, how was training? Oh, we went over this today. It's like in home, there's almost not an escape.
Yeah. Yeah. But in saying that, like they're my people, like Jared specifically is my partner, but he is literally like the other half of me. So being able to either live vicariously through him or him supporting me, or like the other thing too, I think one of the keys to getting through something like an injury is maintaining some form of routine. So it's not so hard when you come back, because change is hard, and then also falling into that pit of despair. But if I would, as soon as I could, I would go back to the gym in the normal time slots. I would go to the gym even though I couldn't do class, and I do my rehab at the gym so that I could see and watch and still be involved and still see the people and still have that connection and still even have that discipline of getting out of the house, because it's very easy to fall into that, like, I literally never leave my house, especially because I have sort of a bit of a home gym set up so I could do rehab at home, which then also makes it almost like an anxious feeling to go back after a certain period of time, but then also like to maintain that with like, I don't feel like a burden of like, well, you can't go to the gym because I can't go to the gym. Like I could never do that. So yeah, I think that is super important. And that for me is one thing that I really tried to maintain is I will still go to the gym no matter how hard it is for me to watch everyone doing the thing I want to be doing. It's actually much harder for me to sit at home sulking. Like I can still take things in. I can still have interactions. I can still help people while I'm there, as well as keeping that routine and being accountable and being like, I also want to show other people that getting injured doesn't mean you just go and hide. So like, I feel like it's important to show, especially like the other AMIs and stuff, like what I say to you, I actually do, as in like keep that routine, keep showing up. When we say keep showing up, like I still went to the gym. I still did my training. I just did my rehab and everything that I could do. I just didn't do any of the stuff I couldn't do. So it's like, yes, train, change up what you're doing, but like still show up. And I'm getting emotional about it. And I feel like this is such a stupid thing to get emotional about, but I think it's important. So
Nothing stupid about getting emotional about this stuff. You're back on the mats, right?
yes, I am.
How
Thank
long,
goodness.
How long have you been back on the mats?
In like being able to train everything,
Yes.
a couple of weeks.
Oh, well, congratulations. I'm very excited to see that.
Like 4 weeks. So even then, so like I have been back doing certain things for a little while. Other aspects of training I still haven't been doing up until like the last handful of weeks, which is exciting. And as I said, so you have peaks and troughs of like, yay, I'm so happy to be back. But then also like, look how far away I am. I don't know if I can ever get back to where I was, or, you know, also even just when you're not injured and you have time off and you come back and everybody else has gotten heaps good, or you're just not sharp anymore, let alone literally trying to reteach your body how to do things is like very hard. But yeah, like happy to be back doing things, and I think I'm pretty close to being able to start really stressing the body again and getting back to like 100% of all of my training and 100% of the intensity again and that kind of thing. And then that's where you can feel the comfort level of going, okay, now I can get ready for a fight again.
What was the first day back like? Of like full training? Like, so 4 weeks ago. What was that day?
Yeah, happy to be back doing stuff, very hesitant in some regards. It's like that roller coaster, that whirlwind. Difficult, happy to be there. Yeah, hesitant, fully well knowing too, because like I've had a whole bunch of different injuries over time. This has just been back-to-back ones and being out for so long, and at what I felt was a really pivotal moment of my career to just completely come to a halt. So yeah, a roller coaster of emotion, I guess. Definitely you feel like you're behind the 8 ball. Like you feel like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing things in slow motion. I'm just behind in making decisions and acting. But like obviously being cognizant of that, understanding that I'm behind, and obviously pulling out of dominant positions where you're like, I don't feel comfortable yet in this position because of XYZ, you know, whether that is a physical block, a mental block, a unfamiliar position, whatever that may be. So yeah, we're getting there, which is exciting. Like now I'm at the other side. Now I'm starting to get excited. I'm sort of still in the like, I'm just coming back, still a bit hesitant, but also like feeling like I'm so far away from where I was. And then it's like that, well, I don't know if I can ever get back there. But then it's also like, yeah, but before you ever got there, you were not even, you didn't even have muscles, or like you didn't know how to get there. Or at least this time now you know what you have to do. That's half the freaking battle. So if you've done it before, you can do it again. But it feels like a bigger task because it feels like you've failed because you're not there right now. Like you were there and then you let it all go. Not that that's what happened. So now it feels like it's harder to get there again. Like I don't know if I can do it again. But that's all just mental noise. Yeah.
Dude, locked in. Us locked in.
Yeah.
Same wavelength. Did you like the first class back? Did you immediately like run up to someone and immediately like double leg them? You're like, I'm back. Yeah. Just blast through someone like spear tackle edge. You were like doing the hand and pow.
Oh.
The way you laugh makes me sound like I'm not a million miles off.
I mean, like, I was very happy to be there. And I felt like, and I was testing my comfort zone and stuff. So actively testing things, but also like pushing myself. Because I know, like, I've fought injured before. And I fought significantly injured before. And that is one part of it, like understanding that you are injured. But there is also understanding if you have a mental block. So there's understanding that you might be physically compromised, but a mental block is actually more detrimental to you. So like when I fought Macca in the rematch on Eternal, I had a torn AC joint. I went into that fight knowing, okay, I am compromised. Cool. I'm willing to get hurt or it to be worse or whatever. Like that's fine. But what I didn't understand is that I had a mental block about it. So even though I was willing to get hurt or to, you know, understand that I wouldn't be at maximum capacity or whatever, I just didn't throw it. So I took away an entire weapon from myself because I wasn't throwing it. Even though I wasn't worried about getting hurt, I just wasn't confident in it. Or it going to, or to look silly, or it not work, or I don't know. I don't know what it was, but it was a mental block. So I went 2 rounds into that fight without using my right bloody hand. And then in the 3rd round, I went, oh, what am I doing? Just throw it. And every time I threw it, I landed it. And I was like, why didn't I do this earlier? But also like it was midway through that round when I did that. It's like too little, too late, dude. So like, I know that no matter what, I have to test myself in every possible position. I need to stress test and whatever because I want to work through any possible mental block, not so much a physical block because I don't feel like I have those issues, but I need to work through any possible mental block in the gym so that I can go in there fully free from a mental block to fight because I realize like, and if I was amateur, I'd probably go back really quick from an injury because it's amateur. But pro, there's so much more on the line. Everybody's really good. Everybody is a killer. Like everybody is, you know, doing the right things. Like, and every fight means something. Yes, sure. There are some people out there that aren't the same level as the other pros, but I'm not interested in fighting easy fights. Like that does nothing for me. I don't want to go through a full camp, a weight cut, all of these things to fight someone I know I'm going to smash in 30 seconds. It does nothing for me. That's not what I want. So, yeah. So with the coming back from injury, I want to know 100% I have nothing set in my mind that I'm worried about, that I haven't been in this position before in the gym, which is kind of the same with fighting in general. You want to have you don't want there to be surprises in a fight like, oh, I've never experienced a guillotine before, and then someone guillotines you and you tap out straight away because you panic. Like, I feel like it's the same concept, but injuries are very interesting because even though you might be willing to go out on your shield, your mind and your body do things where they're just like, nope, we're not going to do that because it's hurt, or I think it's hurt, or I don't think it'll work. Like, I don't know what it was, but yeah, I don't want to ever experience that again. But I'm glad that I did experience it, so I know now.
Well, I think like maybe that part there maybe answers this question, but I'll still ask. Was that experience enough for you to know about mental blocks, or did you go and like work with someone about getting over mental blocks? Like a lot of people go to like a sports psych or something like that. It doesn't necessarily have to be that. It could have been, but like, did something have to change for you to go like, all right, I need to now identify these and fix them? Or was it just like, that was shit, let's not do that again?
No, like I'm pretty self-aware. So I realized in the fight, like I said, midway through it, and like as soon as I threw it, I was like, why haven't I been doing that? And then I was like, oh, so there was an issue there where like, you know, I obviously had a mental block. It wasn't a physical one. Yeah. And sort of went, well, I need to figure that out. I have worked with a mental performance coach, but not because specifically things have gone wrong. Like I didn't seek them out because I felt something went wrong and I needed help with mental performance, because I always turn it on fight day. Like I always turn it on fight day. And I don't really have an issue with that, like pulling the trigger or anything else like that. But I just always thought that we have a coach for everything else, and I'm a big, like I say all the time that fighting is like 99% mental. So like, why would I not invest in that? If I'm saying 99% of fighting is mental, why would I not invest in a coach for that part of it? So I worked with a mental performance coach for a period of time, sort of the end of my AMI career into my pro career. And then I was also like, I had to take a break because my life kind of fell apart a little bit after my pro debut. But also like it is quite expensive, and I was just like, okay, I haven't picked it back up since then. But I also like was avid in terms of actually implementing the stuff that I like went through with my mental performance coach. But he was also very forthcoming, sort of saying, you are very self-aware. Usually one of the hardest things is teaching people to be self-aware, to ask themselves the questions, what happened here, and identifying things. So a lot of the stuff I was sort of already doing, but he gave me very specific things that helped me a lot in certain aspects. But yeah, in terms of the mental blocks coming from an injury was something that I immediately kind of reviewed. Like I felt it in there and I realized, and then I was like, okay, so I know I need to work through something like that if that happens again, you know, or I need to at least be fully 100% ready to act on it as if it doesn't exist, you know? And it's interesting because then like I did fight other fights severely compromised, but also just going, well, I know I have to not have any possible mental block that I know I'm going to make it worse. I'm going to put weight through it. Or I'm going to put tension or like whatever it is. So yeah, I don't think someone else pointed out to me. I don't think specifically that I had assistance for that specific one thing, but I think it came from the experience of having that happen at AMI and going, okay, I'm going to learn from this. Try to learn from everything, win, lose or draw.
Do you think that's maybe the most important thing you took from your amateur career?
No.
What do you think is?
Believing in myself. Because again, I never planned on being an athlete. I still don't consider myself an athlete. I still struggle to, you know, think of myself that way. But I don't know, having people give me money to chase my own dream that I didn't know was a dream. I didn't have this. Isn't something I've always had. This was something I wanted to do, and it would be great to win. And I'm going to give it everything I absolutely have. But like, I didn't believe that I was going to be world champion. Like, I wanted that. That was a goal, and I was working my ass off towards it. But like, yeah, I don't know. I think literally people like investing in me taught me to invest in myself. And why, like, if they believe in me, why shouldn't I believe in myself? Which is very powerful. And like, there were so many other lessons through my amateur career, but like, I don't think I ever would have tried to do something that hasn't been done before. Like, I don't think I ever would have tried to win titles in 3 different weight divisions if it wasn't for people like inadvertently teaching me to believe in myself. And then being like, well, why can't I do that? Just because no one else has doesn't mean I can't do it. You know, maybe it is possible. And then, yeah.
Lo and behold.
Yeah, and like even just the concept of taking risks, like it's always hindsight. When you get offered something, it is a risk. Only if you want to see it that way. Otherwise, it's an opportunity. But you won't know which one it is until after. So why not see them all as opportunities?
We talked about kind of the many hats and the many feathers in the many hats.
Oh, geez. The jack of all trades, master of none.
Well, a 3-division champion, world champion's got to be, it's got to be masterful enough. And I said, like, I don't, like, I kind of touched on, I don't know if I literally use these words, but like almost hard to define you are in certain ways.
Yeah, because I'm not one thing.
Yeah, you're not doing one thing. Who is Danielle Curtis?
She's a very passionate person. And I think that works with everything. Like, I don't know, I put everything into what I do, whether it's something that that people are going to see for 10 seconds, or if it's something that no one's ever going to see, but I'm just doing it for me, or, whether it's fighting or commentating, like whatever I try to, I guess, live in the moment, but also create memories and keep a hold of those things. But, whether it's, I'll try to be the best friend I can be, or I will, whatever it is, I just like to try my hardest, Yeah, who am I? Well, I'm, as you said, a jack of all trades. Master of none, but that's okay. Better than a master of none, I believe, is the rest of that phrase. So, but yeah, I'm a very passionate person, specifically about combat sports. Yeah, and I don't know. I also feel like I'm a jack of all trades, even when we just talk about my fight style. That's like, as you sort of said, people will also sort of identify with the parts of my personality or being that they have a connection to. So I talk to people about fighting, but I talk to other people about wrestling, and then maybe it's commentating or, whatever it may be. I like connecting with people. I like breaking down barriers, and just in any way, shape or form that I can, I don't know, showcase this sport in a positive light. I want to do that. I want to get more people into it. Yeah, and it's funny, even with like if you were to watch just a couple of my fights, depending which couple you watch, you'll think I'm either a striker or a grappler, or, so it's so funny that it's like my fighting kind of reflects my life. Like if you were just to tune into my, I don't know, social media, then you might just think I was like a sort of combat sports creator or something, I don't know. Or if you met me in my work life, you think I was just a corporate government job person. Yeah.
you're just a suit.
And then you find out I fight and you're like, what? That's so weird. Or vice versa. People in the fight community find out I've got like a normal like corporate like government job and they're like, what? That's so weird. But
What's the weirdest or, strangest or most interesting reaction you've gotten from telling someone that you're a fighter? Because I will have to say, I've never thought to look at it until now. The ears actually seem okay.
well, I have collies, but all mine are the internal.
innie,
so you can't.
yeah.
So because they're not this part.
Yeah.
This part for me, I don't know if it's a genetic thing, but this part doesn't do. So on this side, it's that whole bit. Like this bit is like solid, and then on here, it's all this internal part is like rock solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, I get mine on the inside, which is really annoying. It's very hard to drain. I would have preferred them to be out here. So yeah, I don't know. Like people. Yeah, a lot of people are like, oh, really? Are you a fighter? You don't look like a fighter. Or like you've still got all your teeth that they're still straight, or like you have a straight nose. I'm like, yeah, it's because I'm like, try not to get hit, guys.
The
Come on.
greatest hits of things people say to fighters.
Yeah. Oh, well, like when I first started, you'd get like people were like, oh, you're too pretty to fight. You're a girl. Why would you want to ruin your face? Or like, stupid shit like that.
Yeah.
But no, at work, it's quite funny. Or vice versa, whenever people find out what I do for a job, a lot of them are like, oh, so are you like a bounty hunter?
Bro, what?
Like-
Dog the bounty hunter?
Yeah. Like you're just fucking chasing down people who haven't paid their taxes or whatever and
Jesus.
like, fighting them or
Yeah.
something. But then it's also so different because like what I studied at uni adds like another layer of like difference again. And then like on top of that, the other thing that I'm always constantly doing is going to like live music. Like, I don't know. I think people, when they find all those different parts of my personality, just like it keeps being like, oh, you do that too? Like that's so wild. But yes, specifically that, I think people being like, oh, do you have your own TV show like Doug the Bounty Hunter? Like,
God.
I feel like that's always quite funny. Otherwise, it's like horrified. Like if it's some of the people in my job, like most everyone that works directly with me, they sort of all know.
Yeah.
But yeah, when someone else finds out, there's been a few people like horrified. Like, what? You fight people in a cage? What's wrong with you? Like, I did have someone know my name though one time. I started last year or the year before. I might have been the year. It was the year before. I started a new section of work and a new team, and someone was like, "Oh, your name looks really familiar. Where do I know you? Have you worked in this office?" I'm like, "No, I'm in the Newcastle office," and they're like, oh, maybe I did work in sort of this area. And they're like, nah, that's not it. I've never worked in that. I'm like, oh, I did sort of work for a little bit here, still within the same, business, or like maybe you had something to do with me when I was in like a technical support role or when I was in like a business management role or, training or whatever. No, that's it. And then I just literally sent like, then I said, oh, maybe you know me for what I do outside of work. And I just sent a GIF and it was like a UFC GIF. I can't remember. Might have been like either a Conor McGregor or Amanda Nunes or something. And then I just get, are you Dropbear? Yeah. And I was like, oh my God. Like, because I don't expect anyone from work to follow MMA.
Yeah, of course.
So that was kind of really crazy and surreal. I would say that is probably one of my favorite interactions ever.
I don't want to immediately follow up with a question about, because a lot of people aren't familiar with the MMA world.
Yes.
How it is for me, like I'm getting to a point, and it ebbs and flows. It depends how I'm feeling. But like, where you go to a party and you meet some new people, and they're like, "What do you do?" And I like make up something else. I'm like, I don't want to have to understand. Like, I don't want to have to do
explain
the dance
Yes.
of like, UFC, and if they say no, you go, Conor McGregor, and then they say yes, you go, what he does, like that. That I cover that. You know.
Yeah.
Do you? I don't want to use the phrase like hide it, but if someone comes up to your party and oh, hey, pleasure to meet you. What do you do? Do you lead with the day job, or do you lead with I'm an MMA fighter?
Well, it's interesting, Joel. You're assuming I go to parties.
Oh yeah, it's a big assumption. I apologize.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen. Like usually I don't leave my house other than going to work or training or fight shows or something associated with one or the other. As in like I'm either in a room related to combat sports or I'm in a room related to work. So I feel like then that's very easy to say what I do in relation to the thing. If I was out and it was a random stranger, I'm probably more inclined to speak about being a fighter because my public persona is fighting. Like I don't have a separate fighter social media and then me.
Yeah.
Like it's all in one. And that's why on my social media, you get all the different sides, like different bits of me. So more than likely it would be that part because that's very sort of public. But yeah, I don't know. It would probably come down to how the question was phrased, as in like, what do you do? We're like, oh, yeah.
Hang out mainly.
Hang
Yeah.
out with a whole bunch of guys in a padded room.
Yeah. And they're all wearing Keep Jiu-Jitsu gay shirts. So that makes it fine. So it's not weird. I promise it's not weird.
Yeah, they're all gay. It's
Yeah,
fine.
Exactly. It's all fine. How is your painting doing?
Yeah, good. I don't know what I'm doing. I didn't have a vision for this one because I've already done some.
Yes. This is to live on my set.
Yes, so it's quite pretty.
Yes, we'll get a close up of
But
that.
I've started adding some blood on the claws.
Very cool.
But I need to I don't know, add
Are
a
you
little
still
bit
going?
more. I don't know. Can I see yours?
Yes,
now?
I just need a little bit of glue.
Yes,
That's
okay.
the last thing I need. But I
Okay.
think I'm done with my little guy. Here he is. He's in a little leather jacket.
That's so cute.
I'd like to turn it around. Look at the back of the jacket.
Yes, I saw the Southern Cross
The
Combat
Southern Cross Combat logo
That's
back patch. He's
amazing.
my little punk drop bear.
I love that.
He
You
is-
can probably just put some paint and it would stick to the paint.
That's a very good point. I will do that. He is wearing my attempt, and it's come off horribly, but I'll show the camera and we'll get a close up. That is
That's so cute.
that's a Private Function t-shirt, which is a local band
That's
that I
so
like.
cute.
That they have a shirt that kind of looks like that. It looks like the I assume you guys have it out here, but I don't. Do you have the neighborhood watch out here?
Oh yeah, like I know. Yes.
You know this, like the logo of all the people's faces.
Yeah,
like,
I don't
turning to
know
the
if it's
side?
here, but definitely I grew up with it in Hayes.
Yeah,
so,
they have a shirt that's like all the people's faces,
Yes.
and the cop's got a cigarette.
Yes.
As a neighborhood function.
Yes.
And so that's my version of that. I am gonna see if I can stick the mohawk. He has a mohawk.
Let's just. I want you to like hold the mohawk. I want to
Yeah.
see how we're doing.
So I'm hoping to.
That's outrageous.
It's like
That's-
folded over. I'm hoping to like stick part
That's
of it
actually so good.
down like that. Is kind of what I'm going for.
I love that.
And I hope it works out. But outside of that, I am happy to be content with my art. I think it's a beautiful bit of self-expression that we've both achieved here today.
I'm gonna go
think-
wild here and give it a random colored belly
Yellow
because
belly.
I was like,
It's
well,
a yellow belly, bro. Your parents still living in Hay?
yes, my mum and stepdad live in Hay, and my dad lives like one town over, so like an hour and a half away, which is where the next town is.
Yeah.
In Griffith. So yes, they do, which is a long way away from here.
How does that work?
The internet.
Thank God for Zoom. Doesn't my MMA career know it, bro? Thank God.
Yeah. So I don't see them in person very often. But that's just how it goes. To be honest, even if they lived here, I probably wouldn't have much time to see them all the time. Anyway, so I mean, I probably would see them more frequently than I do, once a year or once a year and a half or sometimes more than that.
What are the occasions? Is it like Christmas? Is it like
Um,
birthdays? Is it like I have a fight coming up, come to the fight?
Yeah, my mum will usually come to fights unless she can't. So the first fight that she wasn't at in my career was Gamma.
Well, yeah, in Amsterdam.
Yes,
Yeah.
so she didn't come to Amsterdam, and she didn't come to Calgary either. But other than that, I think there was only one other fight that because she was traveling somewhere or doing something. But other than that, she has sort of been to all of them. When I was fighting in Gamma, she came and stayed here and looked after the dogs. Because Sam wasn't living with us at that point. And the neighbours, so we had brand new neighbours that moved in while she was here. She was looking after the house and the dogs and whatever. And she kind of got bored, so she went and helped them move in their stuff and whatever. And then the night that I was fighting for the gold medal, the neighbours had to call the cops on her because they thought she was being murdered.
Oh my god! Oh, because
She was
yelling
screaming.
along to the fight. That's so funny.
She was screaming, so she was yelling, "Go, go, go, Danielle, go!" They thought she was screaming, "No, no," and just screaming the top of her lungs. So they had 000 on the phone, and they were standing out on their porch yelling, "Linda, are you okay?" And then she ended up coming out and she was like, "My daughter's a world champion." And they were like, "Oh, okay, so you're all right?" She's like, "Yes." I'm like so happy. And they're like, "Okay." And then they had to apologize to like 000 to be like, "No, she's actually not getting murdered. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry for calling you."
It's okay. It's just her daughter was in a fist fight. Don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it.
Don't worry.
In another country though.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
fine.
Not
It's
in your
fine.
jurisdiction.
It's fine.
It's not under your jurisdiction. It's fine.
Yeah, so that's interesting for her. Was like she's like, "I don't like being by myself when you fight," because even when she would come to my fights, there'd usually be other people there supporting me, at least even if it was like one other friend or two other friends kind of thing. So she wasn't alone in the crowd kind of thing, whereas she was just alone in my house. Just dealing with it. The one other cool thing about it was because obviously it was a tournament, so there was multiple days and whatever. And in the lead up, and it was apparently it was raining here or whatever. And she had a whole bunch of nervous energy. She didn't know what to do with it because it was raining. So every window in my house got cleaned. She's like, "I swept and mopped and there wasn't anything else to do, so I cleaned all of your windows." There's a lot of windows in this house.
Yes, there is.
So, I mean, it's like, "You can come stay at my house when I fight anytime."
Yeah,
She's like,
exactly.
I'm coming to all your fights unless I can't. It's like, okay, all right. So, yes.
Do you foresee the future fights being overseas? You broke out into that overseas market in your last fight for pro. Gamma's obviously international. Do you see more travel in your future?
Absolutely, 100%. Like that's always the goal. That's always the goal. Like, and I'm not saying I don't like fighting at home. That's great. I think just telling of where my career is and where the exposure is and stuff. Like, there's certain promotions that I would still fight on regionally. That's not a very big list. Because I need to have the level of opponents to make it worthwhile to keep progressing my career. They usually cost money. So whether they're getting flown here or I'm getting flown to them or whatever, there's not a big pool of girls locally. And even then, everyone's kind of at different points in their careers and, people have got injuries or they're under contract or they just don't want to take a fight right now or whatever. Like, if there's only a limited amount of people and they're not ready to go and accepting a fight right now, you have to have a promotion that's willing to pay someone to come be flown or look for a promotion that's happy to fly you somewhere. Happy to still fight on the regional scene, absolutely. Especially in Australia, I am very patriotic and very Australian. For goodness sake, my fight name is Dropbear. But yeah, I mean, I just need the level of fights that I need. I need the hard competition, and like I'm not going to shy away from that. And I want to build my career, and I want to have the tough fights, and I want to keep just doing what I'm doing and love it and enjoy it. And like I think if I can string together some fights, like I think I have a good shot at, you know, doing it on one of the bigger stages, because like I think I'm kind of a little bit marketable, maybe. Can talk. um, and I think I'm exciting to watch. Like that's one thing I've always aimed to be, was an exciting fighter to watch, entertaining, and I always look for finishes. Like literally of all my fights, I've only ever won by decision twice, and one of them was I thought I was going to retire, so I did not want the fight to be over. I wanted to do everything I had on my bucket list of things I'd like to do in a fight, and I was just having fun, and I didn't want it to be over. But like, other than 2 fights, all of my other fights I've won by some form of finish. So, you know, I know that that's what the big leagues want. They want finishes. So, and finishing people is actually quite difficult, especially when you're fighting hard fights.
Especially when they don't want to be.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't want to be knocked out. You're like, why? Shouldn't you just want to be knocked out?
Yeah. But like when you don't take easy fights, then finishes are very hard. Like you've got to exploit a gap in someone's arsenal. And that in itself is difficult to do.
Why did you think you were going to retire?
Well, there's been a few times, to be honest. As with anything, my life fell apart hardcore. Yeah, I had split like from like a partner, which also meant that I left a gym. It also meant that I had no support networks. I had nothing but a job kind of thing. Like I just felt alone, and I wasn't sure what I was going to do with my life. And I just, it's in those moments of being vulnerable that you kind of take a step back and go, is this worth it? Can I do it? Is this a natural end? Like that I don't get a choice? Is this like, can I even get through? Like, I don't even know how I'm surviving life right now, let alone an athletic career or being in a headspace to fight someone. And yeah, so there was just like a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I was like, I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if like, yeah, there was a whole bunch of things, but I also knew that no matter what, I can't leave without having one more fight. Like I need to just, to be okay to walk away, I have to at least have a fight where I know like, okay, I'm going to walk away. So I need to at least have one more. And in the moment of having that one more fight, which I was like, here's my list of all the things I want to be able, I would love to do in a fight. Spinning back fist, spinning heel kick, high crutch, pick someone up with a high crutch and slam them, get to a rear naked choke, like just pull off certain combinations, like chop up a leg, land nasty head kicks, like what like there was a list, and I did it all. And like that was so that I could leave content with, I put on the most entertaining fight. I did everything I wanted to do kind of thing. And then I got selected for Gamma. It's funny how that happens. So, yeah. And then that was that whole thing where then through that process of like literally just being like, that's it. And then getting selected, like, yeah, do you want to represent Australia? Like, oh my God, yes. I don't even care how I go. Like, this is a bonus. This is more than I thought I was getting. And then people helping me get there and believing in me. Like, why? Why do you believe in me? Like, why do you believe in me enough to like give me money? Like, yeah. So it's kind of a wild ride of things. And it's like they always say to you, you'll have a bout of success after you are about to walk away if you stick with something. 100%. Every time I've literally nearly walked away, because that also happened prior to Canada, for another set of things that happened. Yeah, and then yes. So learning to try and stay the course, I guess, and trust in myself and go, well, how badly do you want it?
That fight before you get selected for Gamma, where you decide, for lack of a better term, I'm going to use the phrasing of you're like, random bullshit, go. Like, do whatever you want. Not in terms of no one goes out there to like lose.
Oh, I was never going to lose.
But to go out
in my mindset
and be like, I'm going to throw some fun shit. I don't care really what the game plan is per se. I'm going to throw, I need to hit these things.
Was definitely still a game plan though. Like it was still, I am going to absolutely dominate. It was like the thought process.
Was it particularly maybe more freeing than other fights? Because you're like, all right. Or in a weird way, maybe it's more restrictive because you're like, oh, I have to hit these things.
I don't know, man. It was just pure bliss.
Do you think that fight and maybe the lack of weight mentally of like, well, this might be the last one, so let's go and hit all these targets. Do you think that's significantly affected how you enter fights going forward?
Maybe. But like while I was doing it, while I was there, I was like, it's funny. I sort of come to terms with it before, but when I got in there, I was like, this is the time where I actually feel alive. How could I even think that I'm not going to do this again?
Oh, so it was one of those fake MMA retirements.
Well, no, like I never intended to say that I was retiring, but like it was, I want to hit all these things so I can feel okay with that. And then I had the fight and I was like, no, I meant to do this. So like in the fight, then it's like, I'm still going to hit all these things and do what I set out to do. But I didn't want it to be over. I was soaking in every second of it so that I could be okay if that was it. But through doing it, I was like, I literally feel alive in those moments. Like, and to be fair, I always have. That's not something that came with that fight. Like if you go back and you watch my very first fight, I smile while I'm fighting. Like it's like that photo I put up on my socials not long ago, where I'm like, this photo always makes me laugh because everyone, when they look at it, they think it's at the end of a fight. The fight is finished and we're hugging. It is not. It is a mid-fight photo. I'm going to show it to you because I don't know if you know the photo I'm talking about. But everybody's like, oh, that must be at the end of the fight when you like hug your opponent. You're like, yeah, that was a great fight. And I'm like, no, she's literally trying to punch me at that point in time. But I just am so at like bliss when I fight that I'm just like, I am meant to be here. I love what I'm doing. Even if I'm getting punched, like I am smiling, I'm just loving being here. This is mid-fight. So
that does not look like an image that is taken mid-fight.
So she is sort of like punching me to the body. But like you can see why.
No, it looks like a photo.
It looks like the end of the fight. That is mid-fight. And that's what I like. That's what I look like. Like I smile when I fight, which I think is off-putting to some people, definitely. But it's not. Because people ask me if I do it on purpose to like off-put my opponent. I'm like, I actually don't do it. It has nothing to do with them at all. I could be fighting a robot and I'd be just like, this is the best day of my life, which is so weird. I know and I can understand that is weird. But even from like my first like smoker show, I'm covered in blood because my nose bleeds all the time. Like in that photo, covered in blood, biggest smile you've ever seen. Like, I love this, which I think is a bit defeating to some people, especially if we're getting through the rounds and I'm like, I don't even look tired because I just like pure glee. But yeah, I just wear my emotions and then I win and then I cry. So it's like, bro, get your shit together.
It's an emotional sport. The highs and the lows of MMA.
Yeah, but you think that either way, the high and the low are after the fight, not during the fight.
Not in the middle of it. Not like, oh my God, I'm
Someone
experiencing it right now.
punches me and I'm like, this is great.
Yeah.
I feel alive.
We've talked about the many hats, and I think today we've added artist to the list.
I don't know about that.
I think it looks
I think
good.
this is my worst one yet.
Oh, well, good.
Hang
I'm
on.
glad that's the one I'm taking.
Well, you can take the other one.
No, that one was made for me. I don't want another one. I want
I don't
that
know.
one.
See, like, I had a plan going in when I did this one.
Yeah.
So this one, he's got a little sword.
That one's
It's
hectic.
missing an eye.
We'll do up close.
See, I
photos of all
I
of
did
these.
this one.
Yes.
So I feel like, well, you can take this one if you like.
No,
but
I want that one.
you want this one?
I want the one that we
Okay.
made.
I know. Okay. I need to add something. I like trying to be outside the box, obviously. And I just don't know. Because at the moment, the color scheme is giving me Genie from Aladdin vibes.
Yes, the great Robin Williams.
Yes.
Well, maybe before I leave, you can add something. But I
will.
I appreciate the arts and craft time. I thank you for hosting.
My pleasure.
You know, I hope we learnt a little bit about Danielle Curtis today. Maybe a lot about ourselves.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. If you guys enjoyed this style of stuff, let me know. I thought it'd be fun to do something a little bit different. I had a blast, dude. I had fun.
I love this.
Yeah.
I love the mohawk.
Yes, I knew
See,
that
I'm
was
gonna
all
have
good.
to give this one something.
Yes.
Yes, I have something.
I'll attach some photos of the finished product on screen before I leave. And thank you very much for the time.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me, Joel.